a lot of malarkey, but probably somebody has prevailed inside the White House to say why antagonize India.
So, what did Trump or what did London Bengaluru Air India flight 132 was grounded after a pilot reported a possible huge defect in the plane's fuel control switch during pre-flight procedures. Air India quietly took the plane out of service as a precautionary measure. Air India knows how big that could be. Go a few months back and remember what happened to Air India flight 171, which crashed after taking off from the Ahmedabad airport for London. That time also, there were questions over the fuel control switch. Imagine, Air India, you are allowing people to blame your pilots. What makes me livid is the templated and fake reply of Air India. How many more crashes do we want? I want Air India to wake up. I don't want you to let them compromise passenger safety any longer.
Dead economy theorists stunned. Has Modi proven naysayers wrong? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
मुझे बस 2-3 लाइन बोलनी है, उसमें सब पता लग जाएगा, बट वो बोलने नहीं दे रहे हैं.
But Mr. Gandhi, Narwane's statement has come out. He is saying that not even 1 inch of the land was given.
That's not the point here. Whether the land was taken or not, that's a different question. We'll come to that. I'm not. Let me speak. Let me speak.
But the book is not even published, Mr. Gandhi.
Let me speak. You're all defenders of the BJP.
No, not at all.
Yes. That's your agenda.
London Bengaluru Air India flight 132 was grounded after a pilot reported a possible huge defect in the plane's fuel control switch during pre-flight procedures. Air India quietly took the plane out of service as a precautionary measure. Air India knows how big that could be. Go a few months back and remember what happened to Air India flight 171, which crashed after taking off from the Ahmedabad airport for London. That time also, there were questions over the fuel control switch. Imagine, Air India, you are allowing people to blame your pilots. What makes me livid is the templated and fake reply of Air India. How many more crashes do we want? I want Air India to wake up. I don't want you to let them compromise passenger safety any longer.
Dead economy theorists stunned. Has Modi proven naysayers wrong? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
मुझे बस 2-3 लाइन बोलनी है, उसमें सब पता लग जाएगा, बट वो बोलने नहीं दे रहे हैं.
But Mr. Gandhi, Narwane's statement has come out. He is saying that not even 1 inch of the land was given.
That's not the point here. Whether the land was taken or not, that's a different question. We'll come to that. I'm not. Let me speak. Let me speak.
But the book is not even published, Mr. Gandhi.
Let me speak. You're all defenders of the BJP.
No, not at all.
Yes. That's your agenda.
London Bengaluru Air India flight 132 was grounded after a pilot reported a possible huge defect in the plane's fuel control switch during pre-flight procedures. Air India quietly took the plane out of service as a precautionary measure. Air India knows how big that could be. Go a few months back and remember what happened to Air India flight 171, which crashed after taking off from the Ahmedabad airport for London. That time also, there were questions over the fuel control switch. Imagine, Air India, you are allowing people to blame your pilots. What makes me livid is the templated and fake reply of Air India. How many more crashes do we want? I want Air India to wake up. I don't want you to let them compromise passenger safety any longer.
Daddy of deals done. Shock and awe. 2 deals, 5 days. Biggest global voices live with Arnab. debating tonight at 8 p.m.
मुझे बस 2-3 लाइन बोलनी है, उसमें सब पता लग जाएगा, बट वो बोलने नहीं दे रहे हैं.
But Mr. Gandhi, Narwane's statement has come out. He is saying that not even 1 inch of the land was given.
That's not the point here. Whether the land was taken or not, that's a different question. We'll come to that. I'm not. Let me speak.
But the book is not even published, Mr. Gandhi.
Let me speak. You're all defenders of the BJP.
No, not at all.
Yes. That's your agenda.
Dead economy theorists stunned. Has Modi proven naysayers wrong? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, the art of the deal. The daddy of deals is done, and the impact of that. That's debate 1 tonight. And debate number 2. Where does Rahul Gandhi go to hide now? The naysayers of the Indian economy, Rahul Gandhi and the man who knows nothing about economics, Raghuram Rajan. How they have left stunned. They are left stunned after this. That's the political debate at 9 o'clock tonight. In 1987, when Donald Trump was 41, 42 years old, he wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, proclaiming himself to be the God of deals. Really, I don't think he knows how to do deals, because today, if anyone knows how to do a deal, anyone, it is the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. And why am I saying that? Because on July 21st, when Donald Trump pulled out that sheet saying, I'm going to fine different countries, at that point of time, he said, I'm putting 26% tariff on India. And then they went and abused India, attacked India, swore at India, called the Ukraine war, pulled it out. He said 26%. And then he said this Ukraine war is Modi's war. Then he said that India is Russia's laundromat. Then he said India is the tariff king. After all of that name calling, Modi's war, Russia's laundromat, tariff king, you expect him to get something. What did he get? After 8 months of threats and name calling, the deal is done. And instead of going 8% up from 26 to 34, it goes 8% down from 26 to 18. The question is, what did Trump get? He took it up from 26 to 50%. Now he's brought it down to 18%. What did he get? I know that deals are not a chess match. There is no pure, clear winner or loser. It's give a little and take a little. But what did the man who in 1987 wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, what deal did he get? In fact, let me do the mathematics. In 8 months, it came down the tariffs on India by 8%, which means every month, he brought down his own tariffs by 1% to a notch. Every month we beat Trump down by 1%. This is a reality. I'm not here to, to say we won, you lost. I'm not doing that, but I'm just stating the facts tonight. I'm just stating the facts, and I hope Americans are watching this. Where does this place India? I think in a great position, because the world is competitive. Let me take the BRICS nations, for example. China is today at 34% and we're at 18%. Brazil is at 50%, we're at 18%. South Africa is at 30%, we're at 18%. We have today an 16% margin in tariffs on China. We have a 32% margin on Brazil. And we have a 12% margin on South Africa. Russia, of course, is sanctioned. I'm only mentioning some BRICS nations. So while being leaders of the global south, while holding our own, while not giving in, while not letting the Americans bully us, we have got a deal that's literally as good as it can get in the present situation. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, when Donald Trump says he has a lot of respect for Prime Minister Modi, I think he means it. The world order is changing in India's favor. Remember the graph that Elon Musk put when he said, don't forget the world order is changing. The number one contributor to GDP growth in the world is China. The number two is India. Number three, by far, and a poor number three is the USA. That's going to be the global economic order in 2047. Viksit Bharat. We are almost getting there. Let's debate.
Months of negotiations, tariff tension building up. From pressure to praise, Donald Trump has come a long way.
India charges us massive tariffs, massive. You can't even sell anything into India. It's almost restrictive. It is restrictive. We do very little business inside. They've agreed, by the way, they want to cut their tariffs way down now because somebody's finally exposing them for what they've done. And as you know, Prime Minister Modi's a friend of mine, but they don't do very much business in terms of business with us. They sell a lot to us, but we don't buy from them. You know why? Because the tariff is so high. They have one of the highest tariffs in the world. We get along with India very well, but India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we therefore weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Modi's a very good man.
Yes.
He's a good guy. He knew I was not happy, and it was important to make me happy. They do trade. And we can raise tariffs on them very quickly.
Trump, who once called India a tariff king, has now cut down tariff, giving India the best deal. Trump claimed India will stop buying Russian oil. Prime Minister Modi, while acknowledging the deal on behalf of 1.4 billion Indians, didn't say a word on any crude imports from Russia. Kremlin says it has not heard from India about halting Russian energy purchases. There is no fine print of the deal yet. But the global media, especially American and Western media, are giving it their own spin. While some call it a deal to end the Ukraine war, others calling it an end to the trade war while terms of peace are murky. And some conclude that India won't buy Russian oil anymore. All of them mostly wrong.
Coming as it does immediately after India signed the mother of all deals with the European Union, the India-United States Trade Pact sends across a strong geopolitical message that you can stare down a bully and get that bully on the negotiation table. Not only that, you can in fact get the best of terms if only you have the patience. Now, with this deal, India has better terms than what Vietnam, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Pakistan could get, and in fact, best one amongst the BRICS nations. And that shows that this could prove to be the daddy of deals as the world reverberates with India's success in negotiating a good deal with the Trump administration.
They say devil is in the details. The world now awaits what the US-India deal actually holds.
I have with me first this evening Ambassador John Bolton. He has been former National Security Advisor to President Trump in his first term. Now, of course, he's Trump's target. There have been raids on him. Trump doesn't like him anymore. Trump speaks badly of him. But then Trump speaks badly of a lot of people, doesn't he, Ambassador? My question to you is this. You must be watching this closely. The big news, India-USA trade deal, historic deal. I began by saying that I don't think Trump went away with a lot. What do you make of what he said?
I don't think tariffs are good for anybody as a matter of normal economic interchange. It was a mistake for Trump to launch the so-called Liberation Day tariffs. These are hidden taxes on American consumers. We do have problems in the trade world, mostly with China stealing intellectual property and the like. But it's mutually beneficial for the citizens of both countries not to have tariffs in the way. So anything that reduces tariffs, by and large, is a positive for all the countries involved. And I know that India has been celebrating going from 50% to 18%. I'll celebrate even more when we go to 0%.
What did you mean by 0%? Like?
Well, in other words, I don't see why there's any upside to having tariffs on Indian goods coming into the U.S. or U.S. goods going into India. In our states, and I think in your states too, there's not a tariff internally between North Carolina and South Carolina. For us, it would be crazy to do it. And I think people overall benefit from free trade.
No, 100% they do. My question was that when we saw Trump's statement yesterday, a lot of things are generic. He says that we will have zero tariffs, zero tariff barriers for our goods into America, but I don't see anything on the dotted line on that. He also says that India has promised to buy American, but that seems very generic. It does not seem anything specific there. He says India has promised to buy American. That's a generic promise, isn't it, Mr. Bolton? It's not on the dotted line. It's only a statement of intent.
Well, remember, what Trump says is what he wants the world to hear. And the details come later, and obviously the details here are significant. So I'm not buying that we understand fully what the deal is yet. But if anything comes that reduces the tariffs, that'll be good. If the reporting in the United States is that India agreed to buy more oil from the United States, I think that's great, of course. But also to buy more oil from Venezuela and in lieu of buying Russian oil. And all I can say on that part is good luck, because Venezuela's oil production is very, very low, and the odds of that production increasing materially, certainly in a way that could satisfy demand at the level India has, is years down the road.
So if the specifics are not clear, why does a person who wrote the book, The Art of the Deal, end up committing 18% from 50% for India without getting anything substantially significant in writing in return?
Well, he may or may not have gotten something in return. I mean, I'm certainly not arguing that he did. He frequently announces deals that don't exist. But I think his whole concept of tariffs is wrong. I think his idea that if a country has a trade surplus with another country, that's good, and a trade deficit with a different country, that's bad, is just wrong. He doesn't understand that the surplus and deficits are caused by millions of individual economic transactions. And so the idea that somehow we're better off with higher tariffs to begin with is wrong, and that we're making a concession by lowering the tariffs is wrong as well. People who ought to be happiest about the tariff rate coming down from 50% to 18% should be American consumers, because they and importers generally are the ones who pay the tariffs. The study done by the Kiel Institute of Germany on the effect of the Liberation Day tariffs for the past year is that the exporters pay about 4% of the tariffs, and importers and American consumers pay 96% of the tariffs. So reducing the American tariffs is a big tax cut for the American people, which I applaud.
Could it also be that India temporarily agrees to slow down purchasing Russian oil? By the way, I do not think, Ambassador, there's any possibility that India will reduce the purchase of Russian oil to zero. Again, that's a no commitment zone. That's a statement by Donald Trump on Truth Social, but there is no firm commitment that we will stop. But, you know, just to get a deal done, because the war can't go on indefinitely, India could say, okay, we'll slow it down for a while, and we'll open the tap again after the war ends. So it's not really a change of position, making me wonder why Trump is seeking a headline here. Is it the pressure of the India-EU trade deal that was beginning to bear on him?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, I think Indian consumers and producers, manufacturers are better off with this as well. That and in fact would be even better off if they lowered Indian tariffs. I think the incentive for India not to purchase Russian oil, even at the very low rates that are being paid, well below the global market price, is that Russia is increasingly becoming a subservient state to China in the China-Russia axis that's been forming. This is not like the Sino-Soviet alliance of the Cold War. This time, China's in charge. And the close relationships that countries have with Russia for oil or weapons or other products like that leave them in a vulnerable position. I think this applies to India as well, and vulnerable particularly vis-a-vis China. So dispersing the oil production or the oil purchases from Russia to other suppliers of oil makes sense for India on its own geopolitical terms.
You've been National Security Advisor with Trump in his first term. You know him well. You worked closely, very, very closely with him at the highest level. Now, he's been humming and hawing and being very, very aggressive vis-a-vis India, very pro-Pakistan. Is this a consistent position in your view? Does he have any long-term views on building a relationship with India, or is it purely only transactional and whatever works for today rather than a long-term partnership?
No, it's all about Donald Trump today. It is all transactional. And this is very hard for people to understand. It's very hard for me to understand until I started working for him. He doesn't have a philosophy. He doesn't have a national security grand strategy. He doesn't even really do policy the way we understand those terms. And when he does deals internationally, he frequently doesn't know the assets that he's dealing with. He doesn't know what he's getting for the deals that he's making. So it's very dangerous for the United States and allows our adversaries to take advantage of us. I think it is the case he and Prime Minister Modi have a good personal relationship. I wish we could build more on that in dealing with the threat that China poses all along its Indo-Pacific periphery, because that's where the real issue is. Trade disputes between friends are often very, very difficult, but they involve economic stakes and you have to work them out. But to allow trade differences to obscure geostrategic common interest, I think, is a real problem. So one benefit, I hope, coming from this tariff reduction is we can now start talking more about how to cooperate against the common threat we face from China.
Ambassador John Bolton, I thank you very much for giving us your perspective of what happens with this trade deal and beyond, and its possible impact on India-America relations. Thank you very much, Ambassador Bolton. I am now joined...
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'd like to move to our panel, and I have with us Einar Tangen, Senior Fellow at the Tahi Institute in Beijing. We have Joachim Bitterlich. He's former German ambassador to NATO, former National Security Advisor to Helmut Kohl. Nikita is joining us, from Moscow today. Pastor Mark Burns, who's a spiritual advisor to President Trump. We only have to have someone who's a spiritual advisor to understand Trump's mind. Richie Greenberg, political commentator from San Francisco, and Troy Blackwell. He's a former advisor to President Biden. He's a Democrat. Thank you very much. My initial thoughts tonight, I just want to open up the thoughts out there. How do you think this places the relationship? I want to start with Einar. Einar, I said earlier that India now has a huge advantage over China. China issue remains unresolved. How does this impact the overall equation, geopolitics, internationally?
All right, just to make it clear, China does not have specific tariffs on India. In this particular case, you can argue that it was a success, bringing it from 50 to 18. I would agree, though, that I don't know why it's an issue at all. I don't think the tariffs should be out there, and I do not think that India should be paying any of the U.S. It's an asymmetric relationship. You look at the wealth of the United States on a per-person basis. It's almost $100,000 per person. It buys things from other people. If you put a tariff on, you're simply adding costs to the American consumers. What really concerns me about this as a lawyer is that if you're supposed to have an agreement, there's supposed to be mutuality, that you agree on the terms. And obviously, that is not the case. The only thing that seems consistent is that the tariffs are meant to go from 50 down to 18. The U.S. says, based on $500 billion worth of buys from India to the U.S., or 500 million, based on not buying Russian oil, and also by opening up its markets. None of these things are going to work for India. So it's very hard to see how this is really an agreement.
Are you disappointed?
Yeah, I am. I think for world trade, it would be much better to give India as an ally of the United States. I'm speaking on behalf of China. I'm just saying, as an ally of the United States, supposedly, as somebody the U.S. counts on, if this is the way you treat your friends, it doesn't seem very nice.
Or are you disappointed because the possibility of India drifting away further from America dies with this deal?
No, I don't. I don't know that this is going to be particularly well received. India is a future power. It will remember all of these things, not just this deal, but everything that led up to it. The words cannot be unspoken. And what happened in Nepal and Bangladesh and happening in Pakistan is not going to be forgotten. These kind of slights. Donald Trump personally tried to make, Prime Minister Modi look weak, as if he was begging for things. It's just not true. So, these types of slights, unfortunately, they cannot be pushed away easily.
Okay. The argument being made by Einar Tangen right at the start, and I want Joachim Bitterlich to come in on this, is that while things may be settled for now between the United States and India, but there has been a frosty relationship with a lot of words exchanged, more words spoken by Americans and no response from Indians. So the relationship is still fragile. It's not going to be a warm and good equation. What is your sense, Mr. Bitterlich?
First, I think congratulations to Prime Minister Modi. He has applied the same strategy as the Chinese do: patience with the Americans, wait for your moment. And at the same time, he was able to use a bit the pressure coming from the EU-India deal. And for me, but I say congrats, yes, but I don't see yet the fine prints, because when I look at the headlines of this deal in Europe, the first headline is India is renouncing to its oil imports from Russia.
Yes.
And this is for the Europeans, the first head. The second one is this other story no one is mentioning. Trump has been speaking yesterday about, let's say, this promise of Indian investments, about 500 billion in the US, in the fields of energy, tech, and agriculture.
Yeah.
Is really something serious, or is this, let's say, a vague intention? What's behind? Therefore, I would like a bit to wait, let's say, for the fine print of this agreement. Otherwise, for the rest, I agree entirely what John Bolton has said about these tariff deals.
Pastor Mark Burns and Richie, has Trump lost the art of deal making? Somewhere I feel it must be considered very, very closely, because you see, in India and China, old civilizations, the art of strategy, you know, Arthashastra written by Kautilya, Chanakya, is one of the greatest works in strategy. And the art of war by the Chinese is not about the art of war alone, it's the art of strategy. Ancient civilizations are patient and strategic. Has Trump misstepped? Because you only went down. You promised 26, went to 50, came down to 18. What I'm not going to rub it in, Pastor. I'm not going to rub it in. I'm not going to rub it in. But someone's going to ask. If not me, then Einar, then Joachim, bit of the experience. They will ask you, what was all of this for? What have you got? And why do you need to do this anymore? You know, this was the biggest of them all, by the way. India, apart from US-China, the second largest deal. The biggest deal will be in US-China, I agree. But the second biggest deal will be US-India. And in the US-India deal, I don't really understand what Trump got. Can you explain what he got?
I'll try my best. First of all, remember the whole purpose of President Trump's tariff wars served two purposes. And again, the president has not lost the art of the deal. We're getting exactly what we wanted, which was reciprocal tariffs. You got to remember, at the end of the day, India was charging America massively high tariffs. The president made it very clear. We love India. I've been to India many times. I have many friends in India. The president is very close to Prime Minister Modi. We have a lot of respect for the Indian people and the Indian culture. But the reality is America markets in India were almost non-existent, partly because of the one-sided tariffs that India was charging America. And the president said no longer. No, we're no longer are going to be the world's bank. If we're going to do business together, it's going to be done on an equal term. Right now, India, through this latest trade deal, has agreed to lower their tariffs. Not only that, India has agreed, according to the latest reports, that Prime Minister Modi has agreed to stop buying Russian oil. And I like, even though I disagree with some of the things that Ambassador John Bolton is saying, he is also speaking that the more you buy Russian oil, the more you help China. And China are not friends to India. And so they're right there in your back door. So you're funding even those that desire to.
No, but the thing is that, see, Pastor, may I?
Last point is this. Last point, I'm going to be quiet. The last point is this. You asked, what do we get? Not only that, India has agreed to buy $500 billion worth of defense equipment, petroleum from America. That's money coming from India to the economy of America. And so we're getting India to the table. We're getting more coming back to America and reciprocal tariffs so that we can do business in India, India can continue to do business in America, and we continue to move forward as great allies. But the time of one-sided tariffs, those days are over under Trump.
No, I still haven't got an answer to my question. Because U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer has said, I'm told, to CNBC International, that India is maintaining its protections around agriculture. So you see, we are not telling you, please bring all your corn flour, all your soya bean, all your almonds, all your apples, and dump it in India. We're not going to let you do that. We've been patient. And I don't know what you got. See, if you're not able to answer a simple question, this is what we got in writing. You see, now you're going to look left and right, Richie, but you're going to ask, someone's going to ask you. Someone's going to ask, if not me, someone else will ask you tomorrow, Richie, good fireworks, but what did Trump actually get?
Well, you brought this up before. You said that, the details, the devil's in the details, right? And I'm actually having a very positive look here. And you've had a couple of guests here, and you had Jeffrey Sachs on yesterday, I believe. Yeah. And I hear just nothing but criticism and nothing but negative. And I'm myself and others on this panel and around America are getting a little tired of hearing all this negativity. A lot of this is just confidence building, right? We're looking towards the future, the very near future. You yourself and others have said, we're waiting for the details. There's no details. Okay, so please be patient. We've been waiting for months. Trump has been in office for a little over a year, and it's been a strained relationship. We know that, strained relationship. And the commitments from India to buy $500 billion worth of energy, coal, technology, and agricultural goods, and had that barrier, the trade barrier, either tariff or no tariff barriers. We just look forward, I look forward to seeing what is going to come out of this. I don't expect something immediately right now. But if I can please, just 1 minute, yesterday when the trade deal was announced, you had Prime Minister, you had Modi. He said, he actually put on Twitter, I still call it Twitter, I know it's X. He said, it was wonderful to speak with my dear friend, President Trump, today. Yeah. Reducing the tariff to 18%. Big thanks to President Trump on behalf of the 1.4 billion people of India. Yep. When two large economies and the world's largest democracies work together, it benefits our people, unlocks immense opportunities, mutually beneficial cooperation. President Trump's leadership is vital for global peace, stability, and prosperity. India fully supports his efforts for peace. Now, if there was such contention, if there's problems between the different leaders of the world, between the leaders of democracies, that did not seem to come across on his statement from Modi. And so I'm very encouraged by what's happening.
No, that's very good. It's very graceful of Modi. As you saw in Narendra Modi's tweet, there was no hyperbole. There were no exclamation marks. He's thanked, he said 18%, and it's true. But at no point of time is there any firm commitment on not buying Russian oil. Am I right, Deepak Vora? Deepak Vora, by the way, is a fantastic, astoundingly great Indian former ambassador. Is there a commitment, Deepak Vora, anywhere on not buying a drop of Russian oil? The only thing we've done is we've not countered Trump. We're not getting into a verbal war with him, which is counterproductive. But we've not given any such commitment, have we?
Well, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your kind words. You are, of course, the greatest anchor that I've seen in my lifetime. I'm 74 years young. So thank you very much for getting me with all these brilliant people. No, we haven't. That's not our style. We practice what is called duck diplomacy. Everything is calm and placid on the surface. Beneath the surface, we are paddling furiously. So you know that there were harsh words used against our government by certain members of the Trump administration. We didn't respond. We are the children of Chanakya, sir, the greatest strategist in the world. He says, if the door is closed, keep the window open. And if you start becoming abusive, the window will close too. We never do that. That's not our style. So I do believe, sir, as was announced when we agreed with we announced the completion of negotiations with the European Union. This lady, Ms. Vander, whatever her name is, she said that this is the mother of all deals. I believe, sir, that on this Tuesday, this terrific Tuesday, the day of Lord Hanuman, we have signed the father of all deals. And if you draw a hypothesis, a long line, at one end the United States, the other the European Union, India is right in the middle, the three of them accounting for about 50% of global GDP. We have made no commitments as far as Russia is concerned, nor are we going to make them. As far as agriculture is concerned, again, American agriculture products, particularly cotton was being talked about, is just so expensive. Good quality, not as good as ours, people here are not going to buy it. You can sell a car for $1 trillion, manufacture them, bring them to India. Who's going to buy it, sir? So these are the things. It's a price-sensitive market. You've seen what's happened to the stock market today. It's skyrocketing. We're welcoming.
No, it's doing very well. It's doing very well. It's doing brilliantly well. I think something else is going on. I think somewhere, 4 leaders, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Narendra Modi and Donald Trump know, Nikita, know one thing which they may not be able to say. They know they will all have to work together. It is a multipolar world. There will be 4 or 5 future superpowers, and then there will be some middle to great powers, which will include smaller countries like the United Kingdom and others. But everybody will have to work together. So, Nikita, how is Russia viewing this claim by Donald Trump that Narendra Modi has agreed that India will not buy Russian oil? Do you believe that claim? Is Moscow believing that claim?
First of all, nice to meet you again. And I'd like to say, Mr. Trump isn't the man you should trust. The first reason is because he is weak inside the United States. He's going to lose next parliament elections and lose a lot of his power. In fact, after 3 or 2 years, we will see a new man in the White House, and he will say, I don't know what was said by Mr. Trump, I don't like this guy, I think he should be at the prison. So forget about all negotiations, about all deals made by Trump. We're beginning from the beginner. I think it's a first reason you shouldn't trust all these negotiations. The next thing, the reason why shouldn't you trust his position? When a man came to you and said, hey guy, you know, I did take a man from Caracas, I kidnapped him, and now I can sell you more of oil. More cheaper, great deal, you like me? Of course, I don't think you would say, I like you, guy. Because you should not deal with criminals. Because this time he was lucky. He kidnapped this man and he won. But the next time he will lose. He will have dead bodies of...
but my question was different, Nikita. How is the Kremlin, how is the Russian establishment looking at this? Because Vladimir Putin was in New Delhi. We have a complex and deep, especially defense relationship, which we cherish with Russia, right? 60% of our arms imports are from Russia, defense imports. But Trump is saying that we made a commitment. I don't believe this commitment. I do not believe the Indian government will say we will compromise Russia completely. But we don't know. We don't know the fine print. Unless this Russia part is in the deal as a condition, it doesn't amount to anything for us.
As I said before, Russia is seeing the situation. India trying to deal with American gangsters. You're trying to have negotiations. You're trying to have some kind of new deal, which is going to be over in 2 or 3 years, because Mr. Trump will lose his place and his power. And new men say, I don't have any kind of obligations for you. Forget about it. We're going back to 40% tariffs. So, in fact, as I said before, Russia wants just to understand that it is a bad idea to have any kind of negotiations and talk with the gangsters.
Okay, you are repeatedly calling Donald Trump a gangster.
He will try.
You are repeatedly calling Donald Trump a gangster. But then why is your president? You are repeatedly calling Donald Trump a gangster? But why is your president going all the way to Alaska to meet a gangster?
As I said, we tried our best in that time, because it was long before Mr. Trump...
No, because he's the President of the United States of America today and for the foreseeable future.
As I said, he is losing his power in this minute.
Okay.
You call Mr. Trump a leader of democracy, But people in Minneapolis would say, of course not. He's a dictator. He should be taken to the prison. Any new president will move Trump away, and all his deals, all his projects, all his deals are going to be lost for India and for any other country. We should understand this big problem. I don't understand what is funny for you in the United States, because you know your current leader is going to be at the prison in 3 years later. Is it funny for you? Is it okay?
Your president is a dictator. He's been in office for 20 plus years. He's an actual dictator and kills off political enemies. You're calling Trump a dictator? Like, what country you live in, sir? But it's laughable.
As I said, it isn't me who called Mr. Trump a dictator. It is your American people in Minneapolis, in New York, in other cities. Because they say he took the power, he is building concentration camps for the foreigners, he's arresting people for no reason. They say he's a criminal. He should take
really sold into the propaganda, sir.
It is what American people say. It is not my business. It's your problem. You may have your Trump in White House.
Why do you kill children in Ukraine? Why do you bomb little children in Ukraine?
Please,
why have you kidnapped 20,000 plus children in Ukraine?
We are not at the Harlem.
Why are you still bombing Ukraine?
It is not a rap battle, guy. Don't interrupt.
Why are you still bombing? Why are you killing? Why are you having little children's heads?
It is not a rap battle, guy.
Why are you shooting apartment buildings? Why are you raping women in Ukraine? Why are you attacking churches in Ukraine?
We're speaking about problems of your president.
Why 700 plus churches have been intentionally destroyed by the Russian army?
As I said, Mr. Trump.
May I get in Troy as well? I just want to come in for a moment. I want to come in from a moment, and I would like to, at the cost of giving you an Indian perspective before I come to Troy, explain the way we look at it here in India. I think the last 1 year has been very trying for us. We had a terrorist attack by Pakistan. We were forced to hit them back. Trump was very rude in claiming a lot of things which he shouldn't have claimed, followed by the instigation of a one-sided trade war with India. We were called names. We were called Russia's laundromat and all kinds of things. But in the process, I want to just underline here so that people watching the program across the world understand the new India. For a long time, we punched below our weight. We were looking within a confident India, realizing it will be the second largest economy in the world in 15 years, has successfully opened conversations with China. I now will endorse that. We have reopened trade, relationship, logistics, transportation, a conversation with China. We've had deals with Australia, New Zealand, the European Union. We have deepened our equation, as Nikita will understand, and agree with Russia. We had the Russian president visit India. We have deepened our relationship with Japan and with the African continent. And we are going to be leading the BRICS, with Prime Minister leading it. So I think, I don't know, I mean, you may think I'm inward looking, but I would think that we played it out quite well. In India, we have a long way to go. But now I'd like to get a view from a Democrat. How are people viewing this deal and Trump's announcement in the US, and how do you view it, Mr. Blackwell?
Well, thanks for having me. I look at this from a prosecutorial lens. You kind of have to look at what is the impetus of all of this. So starting with what we know and what we don't know. What we do know is that although most of the Western world has sanctioned Russia due to the invasion of Ukraine, President Trump has not been the most friendliest ally to Ukraine. So we can cross that off the list.
Yes.
The second is that just in the last month, Trump has invaded Venezuela. So I do think that the impetus for this deal comes down to the oil that's in Venezuela. We look at the cost of what that would look like, which is about $61 a ton compared to the 16 that India currently gets from Russia. So I'm not sure how this is necessarily a deal for us. I don't think that Prime Minister Modi will pull out of this. And third, I think the pressure came from the agreement that just happened with the European Union.
Yes.
So that's the fact of what we do know. What we also don't know is, I do think that that's where the pressure came from. What we don't know is the unspecified details, which is, okay, Prime Minister Modi agreed to spend $500 billion with the U.S. There's no specifications in what that $500 billion will go to. I do think that the way that our president, President Trump, has treated the U.S.-India relationship, it's not productive. It's not how you treat a friend. Just in the last 6 months, though, I will say that Prime Minister Modi has played it well. Just in August, the tariffs were at 50%. Today, we have a deal on 18%. It's the lowest in the region. So if anything, the art of the deal is really on Prime Minister Modi's side. As for the Americans' perspective, as a Democrat, I'm not really sure how this plays out for us. I think the long game here for Trump is really about the oil reserves in Venezuela. But again, the oil reserves in Venezuela are dilapidated. It's going to take about at least a decade, 10 years before the infrastructure is really built there. And also, it's not even cost effective for the Indian government, because right now you're getting oil at $16 a ton, whereas with Venezuela, you would be getting it $61 a ton. So I'm a little concerned about what the Americans are getting out of this deal. Something that we haven't talked about that might happen is that I know that Prime Minister Modi and the Indian government is looking at possibly a digital service tax. We're not clear if the U.S. is going to be included in that in the future. So that might be a possibility as a negotiation tool with President Trump right now. Maybe that's why he's lowering the tariffs. But I really think it comes down between those two items: the potential future digital service tax that Prime Minister Modi wants to put in place, whether the U.S. will be a part of that, and two, the situation that has happened over the last 3 weeks with Venezuela.
The way I look at it is, the strategy I think India is adopting here is, realistically speaking, we will catch up with China in 10 to 15 years in terms of scale of economy, purchasing power parity, and trade. So the way I'm looking at it is, I think, Deepak, is that do work with everyone in the world right now, be the unifier, expand and work with the African continent. Don't use this opportunity where Trump is bearing down on people to be kind and respectful to other countries, kind and respectful, appreciative with the European Union, Africa, Japan, even with China, and bring your own, expand your own trade, build your own strength. I think that's how I look at it. Deepak, what do you think? You're much more experienced, because there's so much to learn in this. I'm comparing the speech of Trump in Davos to the details of the deal we are discussing. They're chalk and cheese.
Oh, absolutely, sir. You're absolutely right. It's a brilliant analysis. As far as India is concerned, I've been Indian for 74 years, as far back as I can remember. I don't know what I was before that. But may I just say that you rightly put it, that we are the center, we are the mediator. We are signing with everybody. We're being friends with everybody.
It's good.
This is what, so 117
But isn't
years
that
ago,
good? I mean, isn't that a refreshing thing in today's world?
Oh, absolutely.
The way Modi is dealing with the world, with respect. With respect,
Absolutely.
when he talks to Maloney, when he talks to the German Chancellor, you're talking to ancient civilizations, ancient countries. You have to deal with respect, even when he's speaking to the Chinese. Mutual respect, which is lacking in today's world.
No question about it. I just wanted to say that 117 years ago, Swami Vivekananda had said that India doesn't exist for herself, but to shed a light on the whole world, to unify the world. That's why we talk of the world.
I want a comment from Richie on that. Richie, what do you think? Richie?
Yes, I agree. I do agree that India and other countries as well are beacons for democracy, for hope, for development, for prosperity. And But still, I take offense to a lot of what's being said about America.
No, nothing about America.
Trump.
It's not about America.
I know that. We're talking about India. I understand that.
It's the world. It's the world situation. Richie,
and the world situation.
I'm not saying your president is all bad. Nobody's saying that. But I'm saying that one needs to talk down less. Is that too much to ask,
Well, it's not too much, but, I also question where information is coming to each of us. And in general, listening to the responses from each of the people on the panel today, it's like the news sources are varied wildly across this political spectrum. Okay. And I think that's a problem as well in terms of how people are reacting, not even just us on this panel, but just in general in the world, yes, where people are and how they get their news sources and the reaction that we're having. So that's why a lot of the people here, and especially I apologize to point out, but the person from Russia, he's it's so skewed, and that is very provocative. And we're very much trying to move forward in a positive light.
Okay, I understand. Two quick words from Joachim first. Joachim, what does this deal tell us, the circumstances that have led to it? Please tell us from not an Indian perspective.
For me, I see the new India. Where's India coming from? Last 20 years. From where is the Indian economy coming in? And India, we see the new India. We are discovering India, which is finding its real central place in a multipolar world. Congrats.
That's very important. I think political leadership is very critical for that. We are a very vibrant democracy, unlike China. And political leadership, decisive thinking, clarity, patience, these are virtues that we've seen strongly in Modi's time. Last word to Einar Tangen. Einar, in terms of China, Russia, India, particularly China, India, in the backdrop of this deal, how do you see India and China placed in terms of trade and in terms of our unresolved geopolitical issues?
Well, I go back to something you said, that there are a number of major leaders in a multipolar world, and they're supposed to get along. But if one of them wants to be a thug with a club and say that everything belongs to me, I think the other leaders have to come together and say, well, we'll work without them until they want to play nice. This idea that the United States is going forward positively, I think you can see with your own eyes what's happening across America. What happened in Venezuela, the threats against Greenland, this kind of overarching idea that the United States can go it alone and extract value from everybody else. No country can do that. You just pointed that out, and I am hopeful that India does. And I think China would welcome a very prosperous India, because it strengthens the independence of the world, and it spreads the wisdom of cultures that depend on civilization rather than armaments.
Well, that's very well said. I've enjoyed this conversation, because one thing it tells me as an Indian is that our politics and our economics is more connected to the world outside today than it has ever been. And as an Indian, I'm very proud of that. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. This has been very, very illuminating. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at 9 o'clock tonight, the naysayers who said the Indian economy is dead and were quoting Trump are now stunned. The politics of it at 9.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
थोड़े में ज़्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा। सबका राजा प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी
पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
This morning, Rahul Gandhi, leader of the opposition, created a ruckus and furor in the parliament. In response to the president...
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे दे मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, even more than Rahul Gandhi, the one person who should hide his face and not say a word and genuinely feel sorry for what he's been saying. The most unresearched, unthought, and ladies and gentlemen, ad hoc thinking person in the country. Even worse than Rahul Gandhi. A person who has made so many goof-ups of late, and a person who even praised Pakistan and saying Pakistan played it right with Trump. You know who that person is? That person is this man, Raghuram Rajan. Obviously so frustrated, he has no role in India now. He must remember what he said. His assessment that Pakistan played it right, it was all because of Donald Trump, and he said that I think the central issue was more personality, especially the personality of the White House, how they treated certain comments made by India after Trump claimed credit. He went further saying Pakistan played it the right way, it was all because of Mr. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how an Indian can talk like that. I don't know if he has an Indian passport, I think he does. But whether you do or not, you owe your country something to be talking about India like that. Raghuram Rajan. I mean, whatever little space some people had for you would be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, this deal is a slap in the face of Raghuram Rajan. This deal is a slap in the face of Rahul Gandhi, who called Prime Minister Modi a weak Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi is opportunistic, ad hoc, has an attention deficit problem politically. He said tariffs are blackmail. He said our Prime Minister is weak. And I want to tell Rahul Gandhi and Raghuram Rajan, open your mouth and say sorry. Because from the 26% which Trump threatened, he brought it down to 18%. Which means in 8 months, we brought him down 1% every month. Now that's called the art of a deal. That's called negotiation. That's called putting national interests first. That's called having patience, ladies and gentlemen. You don't win by making ad hoc comments like Raghuram Rajan and Rahul Gandhi. Anyway, a deal is not a zero-sum game. When two equal partners sign a deal, it's not only about winning or losing. It's about two parties committing something to each other. And these are two large nations. Ladies and gentlemen, Rahul Gandhi now said Prime Minister Modi sold the country. Let me tell these people the dictionary meaning of a deal, which means to reach or try to reach a state of acceptance. That's the definition of a deal. Look at the way in which Trump has spoken and the way Modi is speaking. Even now, there are no exclamation marks, no hyperbole. Narendra Modi is acting with intent. Trump is choosing bluster. But that's Trump's style. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Trump's style. What is Trump's style? He has said earlier, looks like we lost India and Russia to the deepest, darkest China. Those are the quotes. One day, he said, India will buy oil from Russia. India is a dead economy. These are the comments of Donald Trump. And he even mocked our Prime Minister. At no point did the Prime Minister of India respond. At no point did he get provoked. At no point did he respond in anger or emotion. And that is incredible. That is leadership. You take it on the chin. You accept the threats. The fact is, India knows how to handle Trump. And we've proven it. I'm really sorry for the way Raghuram Rajan and Rahul Gandhi spoke, but what can you expect from them? Ladies and gentlemen, the way Prime Minister Modi spoke, with intent, he said, I deeply appreciate and fully reciprocate President Trump's sentiments and positive assessment of our ties. He said, India and the US are close friends and natural partners. Big thanks to Trump on behalf of 1.4 billion people of India for this wonderful announcement. Wonderful, statesman-like, classy. No song and dance. A person who knows that he's leading India through a difficult situation and who's convinced that his role is taking India in the direction that he showed in that speech that he made from Red Fort a few years back when he said, Viksit Bharat 2047. And the road to that, we will constantly have people like Raghuram Rajan, like Rahul Gandhi, sometimes Donald Trump making comments, but ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the details now. Trump is claiming that India will not buy Russian oil. What are the facts? Just 2 months ago, India and Russia exchanged 16 agreements on areas related to defense, trade, and economy. And on 5th of December, in case people have forgotten, India and Russia commended their wide-ranging cooperation in the energy sector as a significant pillar of a special and privileged strategic partnership. Now, that's why I don't buy this claim of Donald Trump. Absolutely not. The facts speak otherwise. Second claim of Donald Trump is that India has agreed to zero tariffs and non-trade barriers. But how is that possible? When India has been negotiating hard for a year now to safeguard the interests of our farmers and the dairy sector. And when today the government has said, Piyush Goyal has said, we are not compromising anything on agriculture. And when the US trade representative has said on record to an American TV channel, he said, India is being protectionist about some areas of agriculture, which means to even claim or to accuse or question India of compromising on agriculture and dairy has no factual basis. Remember what Narendra Modi said in August. He said, I will personally have to pay the heavy price, but I will not compromise the interests of our farmers, dairy farmers, and fishermen. Ladies and gentlemen, it has therefore to be economic and diplomatic ignorance to say that we will compromise our agriculture sector, our dairy sector, any part of our agriculture, fisheries, or dairy sector without a thought to our farmers. To even say so, or to put a question mark without a fact, is to say that we will not believe the claims of our own government. If you don't want to believe the claims of our government, which government's claims will you believe America? Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening here is that Trump is speaking in generics, India is speaking in specifics. The only specific we have so far, the only specific in the absence of the actual text of the deal is 18% tariff. That's the only thing we know. Everything else is speculation. I request the people of India to not go by the speculation. Otherwise, the liar wires, the unprintable websites, the liar wires, and the fake scrolls will have their way. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump says India will buy more American goods. Okay? Suppose we say we will attempt to buy more American goods. What is the need to be jumpy about it? Buying more American. The words, buying more American. Okay. We will consider buying more American goods. Where's the commitment? Where's the dotted line? Where is the number? Which goods? It's a standard Trump generalism. There is nothing specific about it. We need to stop getting excited about everything Trump claims, because here's a person, no disrespect, who has accepted the second-hand Nobel from Machado, who went around claiming that he mediated the India-Pakistan war, who got excited about Shehbaz Sharif nominating him for a Nobel and called him and Asif Munir men of peace. These things, I'm not saying these things to underplay anyone or to run down anyone, but there's no need to get excited about Trump generalizations, more appropriately. The only confirmation on tariffs, the only fact on the deal, the only specific thing we know right now is that it's 18% from 50%. That's it. You can keep questioning. How did we get there? What is the fine print? Well, we will comment on the fine print when we have the fine print. At some stage, maybe a few days from now, we will get the fine print. Till then, let's not speculate. Prime Minister Modi has got a huge tariff slash for India. This is good for the country. We have shown the world we know how to handle a Trump situation. We're doing well. 2047, Vikasit Bharat, that goal intact, we're on our way. If anything, we've understood the art of handling Trump. This is my reading of the situation. Do you agree with me? Do you also believe that unnecessary speculation is against our national interest? If you do, share this video. Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate.
They thought Pakistan got the better of us.
Mr. Trump claimed credit for stopping a conflict between India and Pakistan. Pakistan played it the right way. Net effect was India got 50% tariffs, Pakistan got 19.
They called us a dead economy.
Everybody knows that the Indian economy is a dead economy. I'm glad that President Trump has stated a fact.
They mocked Prime Minister Modi for getting bullied by the American president.
ट्रम्प बोल रहा है मोदी मेरे को खुश करना चाहते थे मोदी जी आप उसको खुश कर रहे हैं यू आर मेकिंग हिम हैप्पी एंड मेकिंग इंडिया अनहैप्पी
The Congress president pontificated on diplomacy.
इतने टैरिफ लगाए मोदी देश के लिए दुश्मन बन गया
Samajwadi Party chief sought to corner the BJP.
टैरिफ से कारोबार तो रुका ही है कारोबार तो हमारा छीन ही रहा है लेकिन लगता ये है कि बीजेपी के मुंह पे भी टैरिफ लगा दिया
They all stand flummoxed today.
Congrats sir, congratulations.
They forgot that Prime Minister Modi's resolve was stated in so many words.
भारत अपने किसानों के पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं
With the opposition creating pandemonium today, both inside and outside Parliament, The government had to make a strong rebuttal, with Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal holding a mirror to Congress on the China deal.
राहुल गांधी जी को क्या मिर्ची लगती है? राहुल गांधी जी को देश की प्रगति से नफरत है?
As details emerge of the 18% tariff deal, are the naysayers going to hide now?
Political debate, fireworks, that's what we love. This debate is going to begin by saying that this deal is a slap in the face of Raghuram Rajan, who was going around praising Asif Munir and Shehbaz Sharif, I think. How can anyone do that? How can anyone do that? How can anyone talk like that? I still don't know. I don't know if anyone. I mean, this is as ignorant as anything. Anyway. We're debating tonight. My first comment is from Mohandas Pai. Sanju Verma, Ajay Bagga and Suhail said need no introduction on the left. And Santosh Mehrotra, Piyush Joshi, Faizan Kidwai and Saurabh Shukla of News Mobile need no introduction on the right. Mohandas Pai, you've been wanting this, haven't you? You've really been wanting this. Are you happy with it without seeing the fine print?
Well, Arnab, President Trump has given a rate of 18% for India. For his allies with whom he has a military agreement, like NATO and others, the EU, Japan, and I think Korea, I think is 15%. For the UK, which is a special partner because they joined the hip, 10%. All of the countries are higher, so we got 18%. We are one level below the military alliance. I think it's a good deal for India because all countries who export to America of any substance have to pay tariff. And President Trump is unlike any US president over the last 50 years. He doesn't care a damn about any country, anybody, anywhere. He decides what he wants to do. He's the global hegemon. And he said, trade with me, pay the tariff or bazaar. He doesn't care. Now, we have never had a president of America like this. And he's the most powerful man in the world. And everybody has to play ball with him, right? Because he's the biggest economy. Now, we were shocked and we were stunned with that 50% tariff. We kept quiet. We did not abuse him like others did.
No, we didn't.
We kept quiet.
No, we didn't.
And we swallowed our pride and we tightened our belts and we worked. And now we've got an 18% deal, which is a pretty good deal. And we have already signed an agreement which is on his table for the trade deal, where we have said he will not open up agriculture market, barring maybe some almonds for California and some pulses which we import anyway. I think it's already on his table. And that could be signed. So I think considering what has happened to the rest of the world, it's a good deal because there's a theory of comparative misery, right? I mean, everybody is miserable dealing with the US and we are slightly less miserable than other emerging markets. And I think it is a decent deal and we should get along with it. And I don't know what is this criticism of people because there's no way you're going to deal with him in any other manner. He decides, take it or leave it. And nobody in the world can say no to him.
No, because I don't understand this logic of the criticism, Mr. Pai.
Yes.
You know, people are critical of other people because of different situations.
Well,
some people are critical because they say that, we know that other person has done this. You are critical in your knowledge of something.
Arnab, India is the only country that I know who stood up and did not bow down, did not abuse President Trump, just kept quiet, negotiated, and got a decent deal.
Yeah, but the question is, when you say we are critical, you have to know something.
Yes.
This is the first time in the whole world, a history of human civilization,
My God.
that Rahul Gandhi says I'm critical because I don't know anything. I don't know anything beyond 18% and hence I'm critical and hence I have the space to be critical. Santosh Mehrotra, Piyush, and especially Faizan. Faizan thinks because he knows less, he has the right to be critical. First, know. Faizan, first you learn, you know, and then you criticize.
Okay,
don't say, I know nothing beyond 18%, so I have a right to be critical.
And the propaganda of Bharatiya Janata Party. And
No, what propaganda?
You won't be
what propaganda, Faizan? You ought to be apologizing a million times tonight.
You'll give me time to respond, Mr. Goswami. Let me blow the lid off this propaganda. This trade deal is for the benefit of India. This is for the benefit of Donald Trump. And if there is a victory in diplomacy for anybody, it is Donald Trump. See,
there you go.
things,
There
first
you
of
go.
all,
This is the anti-national line.
May I?
This is the
Mr. Goswami,
anti-national
don't
line.
interject, sir.
This is Trump
anti-national
chamchagiri.
are those people
This is Rahul
who are
Gandhi's
hiding the
approach.
truth.
Ajay Baka, did you see that?
Anti-national are
Did you
those
see that?
people
I
who
will
are
say
hiding the
anti-national.
truth. Anti-national
I will
are
say.
those people who are hiding the truth. If Donald Trump is benefiting his own country and Narendra Modi is failing us, it is a job. It is your job as a journalist.
Narendra Modi is failing us. We got it down from 50 to 18%, and Narendra Modi is failing us.
Global average.
And a party which sends the police to look for Azam Khan's buffaloes, a party which sends a police squad to look for its leaders' buffaloes, you use state money and taxpayer money, you send the police looking for your party leaders' buffaloes. Buffalo.
Please, may I?
Buffaloes.
Let me.
You have done that. You've sent police to search for your party leaders' buffaloes. You will lecture.
Mr. Azam Khan. See, what you're doing.
No,
is
I'm not.
wrong,
I'm
Mr.
comparing.
Goswami.
I'm comparing
You
your
are
actions to
silencing
Azam
my
Khan's
voice.
buffaloes.
You have to let me speak.
Everyone on. I know, no problem.
Give me time. Give me time, sir. My limited knowledge is more than enough to expose Bharatiya Janata Party.
I agree. You have limited knowledge. I agree.
Yes,
your knowledge is very limited.
Very limited. Very limited. Since you said very limited, my knowledge is very limited, but it is more than enough to expose BJP. And the intention is correct. The intention is correct. Okay. Now let me respond to Bharatiya Janata Party. See, first of all, the global average of tariff of US is 15% to India. We get 18%. We get a raw deal. Plus, when Trump is forcing us to not buy Russian oil, this means the exchequer will get a burden of extra 1 lakh crores.
How do you know we've agreed? How do you know we've agreed?
Agreed?
No, how do you know we've agreed to not buying Russian oil?
Come on, Mr.
No, how do you know?
These are the terms on
what these are the terms? Where have you got the deal in your hand? Where is the written statement?
This is not done.
Mr. Goswami, you won't let me speak. You won't let me speak. The problem is you are very intolerant when somebody exposes BJP. What is your problem?
My problem is that you are a party that has constantly compromised national interests.
Sir, I think you have limited knowledge. You get your knowledge from WhatsApp from Bharatiya Janata Party. That's your problem. Let me speak now. Please. Kindly don't interject. Don't interject.
Are you reading from a written script looking left and right?
Of course I do read. Of course I read. I prepare my statement. This is what a decent...
Yeah, you are like the student who writes an essay on the cow.
Yes,
when he's asked to write an essay on grass, he says, I will write an essay on grass and cows eat grass. I will come back to my answer on the cow. You come with a prepared answer. You come with a prepared answer regardless of the question.
I counter each and every propaganda of BJP. So would you let me speak, sir? Don't interject. Don't get worked up. Let Sanju Verma respond. She is very competent spokesperson of BJP. So first of all,
time limit भी होता है.
हाँ क्या होता है?
Time limit. Time
limit तो आप बीच में गड़गड़ करोगे तो मेरे को तो बोलने नहीं दे रहे हो ना.
Please don't use colloquialisms like gargar. There's no translation to it. If you don't know words to express yourself, don't use phrases like that. You have a problem with language, you tell me.
I'm not here to take sermons from you. Gargar is good for me. Okay, now let me respond.
Man, this is painful, man. I'll get a migraine by the end of this.
Let me bring this to...
No, 1 minute. Sanju, let him finish. I'll give him 30 seconds.
You are not so generous to the BJP.
Okay, Sanju Verma, take a chill pill. You have already destroyed this nation enough. Now answer to the people. See, Narendra Modi has he hid this from the people of this country, from the citizens. I'm reading this. There's a bill which was passed, the Shanti bill. What this bill is going to do, it is going to empower the nuclear lobby of US. And just to please Donald Trump, this is what Narendra Modi has done. Now we'll be getting expensive reactors and with a limited liability, the burden falls. God forbid something goes wrong, the burden falls on the taxpayers, on the people. We are going to import expensive LPG from the LPG pact that Narendra Modi forced the Indian PSUs to sign. Now, madam, just chill and relax. 2.2 million tons of expensive LPG will be brought from US.
Okay, now,
because we have to add butane to it more expensive.
Okay, now
This is what is going to happen. This is eventually
just because Akhilesh doesn't let you talk in a party meeting, you don't take out your frustration here. Sanju, I have a question. Sanju, I have a question. The US trade representative, my news desk talking in my ear, very fast news desk, the fastest in the country, tells me in my ear that Arnab, please don't think viewers everything I talk is spoken in my ears. Some of it comes from inside the cranium also. But Sanju, they said that the US trade representative has just tweeted that, can I get the detail? India is going to lower tariffs on US industrial and agricultural goods to 0%. Is this true?
Correct. See.
What are you saying? See, yaar, I'm asking. No?
See, I was saying this
Stop
earlier.
saying CC to everything, yaar. Yeah.
Okay. Abhi
Sanju.
No, I don't want to.
Don't say CC. That's the name of the Egyptian president. Please keep quiet and Sanju continue.
Let me make one thing very, very
Everyone.
clear. It is my misfortune. I have to sit here and debate with some people from the other side who don't know GDP from GNP, inflation from deflation. They don't know the difference between tariff and non-tariff barriers. But be that as it may, let me say this. Can I please, I did not heckle you,
Okay,
keep quiet. Show some decency. I want to say one thing to you very clearly, Arnab. The 18% tariff is the general applicable rate. But there is a very large category of exports which are entirely exempt from tariffs, where the reciprocal tariff rate is 0. And I will give you 2 specific examples. I don't come here on TV debates and talk rhetoric. 2 of India's biggest sectors in terms of exports are pharmaceuticals and consumer electronics. Pharmaceuticals and consumer electronics are completely exempted from tariffs at this stage.
But that's even now. That's even now. That's as of now.
Don't forget, India is the world's second largest pharma producer in terms of volume, with more than 27% of the global generics market and more than 68% of the global vaccines market. And let me tell your audience, having 0 tariffs in consumer electronics is a huge thing, because our annual electronics production is more than 13 lakh crore. Well, electronic exports is more than 6.7 lakh crore. Our annual iPhone exports alone are more than 3.4 lakh crore. So the second point I want to make is, you cannot look at any deal in isolation. The fact that we have a India-US deal after signing the mother of all deals with the 27-member EU, after having an FTA with Mauritius, an FTA with UAE, an ETA with Japan, an ETA with Sri Lanka, an FTA with Australia,
on agricultural goods. One minute, on agricultural goods. If I please let Piyush in, Faizan, you're not the only one. Please understand.
Can I finish?
One minute. No. You better 1 minute before you finish, Sanju. I'm just coming to a specific point. Just a specific point. I need to make a specific point. If it is 0% for agricultural goods,
it is disaster.
Can you be quiet? Can you not comment on it? Then is there an impact on our agriculture?
Who said it is 0%?
The US trade representative is saying that.
No, Piyush Goyal is today on record saying that the joint statement by India and US will be made in a couple of hours from now. And I can say that
we know
the national spokesperson of BJP.
I agree.
We will never give.
We know that, ma'am.
I agree. By then we will know the. No. I agree. I agree. Everything is speculation till then. I am only getting a comment on record from the USTR, so I'm asking.
Arnab.
Piyush.
So let me tell you.
Piyush, please. Sanju, 1 minute. Piyush.
Arnab, the problem is that the Agriculture Secretary of the United States of America, who's the equivalent of Agriculture Minister of India, has tweeted and congratulated her President Donald Trump for opening up the agricultural market, and that's why the confusion is there. We know that the fine prints are not there. Ma'am, allow me to speak. We know that the fine prints are not there. Now, what I want from my Prime Minister, that the Parliament is in session. The Prime Minister should come inside the Parliament and assure the nation that India is not going to open the Indian market to the American agricultural product. Number 1. The Prime Minister should come inside the Parliament and assure that we are not going to start buying Venezuelan oil under any kind of American pressure unless and until it is in absolute and complete interest of our nation as a whole. The Prime Minister should. But
I want to ask you one thing, Piyush. Can I ask you one thing? Can I ask you one thing?
Sure.
Ajay is on. Mohandas is on. Mohandas Pai is one of the greatest corporate figures in our country and a great investor. Ajay Bagga is India's very respected macro voice. I'm not even talking about Sohail. He's right there in the center of our panel. I'm saying today, why does the Indian opposition want India to be like Don Quixote, taking a sword and fighting the windmills, and go to war with everyone, if we are getting our job done, listen to me, if we are getting our job done, we are getting our way, why would you want us to get into war with America? On the one side, you say that we should not. Why would you not say, okay, let Trump claim what he's doing? No, we are getting what we want.
No, fair enough.
We are getting what we want. No. I want to know, is India's opposition being responsible? Ajay,
Never.
By saying that, let's create some trouble here. Let's make this an issue. And we got 18%, we got an advantage, we got the best deal among the BRICS countries. What's your problem? And let it be. Let's move on. Let's do business. हर चीज में politics. Ajay, please. Ajay.
Arnab, the president has been said. That's what.
Arnab, this is work in progress.
Yes.
And making such statements on the floor of the parliament will inflame sentiments. Right now, you said it correctly. We have something like $65 billion of exports on the line, which are being taxed at 50% by the US customs. We are getting a chance to take it to 18%. We have to negotiate the other equation. If you look at Korea, you look at Japan. Korea, Trump threatened last week, Lutnick, his enforcer, threatened that I'll put 100% on you. Both sides, and they have fisticuffs in the Korean parliament. They are as aggressive. Both parties sat together and said, we will pass this deal. In national interest, everybody comes together. That is what is needed right now. Jumping the gun. There is a big difference between what... Get him back. Let me finish. Please let me finish. What Mr. Modi has said and what Trump has said, there's a huge difference. We are trying to resolve that. Let the detailing come out. Then let's have this conversation. Remember, a Japanese prime minister lost his job. He was the first one to meet Trump in his new avatar in Trump 2. He went the second time and he came back and he just resigned. Trump has weaponized tariffs. This kind of 19th century fighting as politicians will not get the nation ahead. We need to come to the 21st century. And
anyway, I also want to say that I want to say on a quip. I want to say. So 1 minute. This is the last. I've never. Sohail. Rajiv Shukla says this is a complete failure. So says a man who cannot negotiate with the Pakistan Cricket Board. So says a man who failed in negotiating with the Pakistan Cricket Board. He said this is a failure. Now,
when I last checked, Rajiv Shukla was as much of an economist as Rahul Gandhi is a ballet dancer. So I wouldn't take anything that Rajiv Shukla takes seriously. He's a friend of mine, but Rajiv Shukla should know his, heft. I want to say three things. I've heard Faiz, my friend from the Samajwadi, I've heard everyone. I'm not even going to, and rightly so, get into the fine print because the fine print hasn't been made available. I have 3 points here. Number one, Narendra Modi, and I'm no supporter of the BJP, I hate all political parties. Narendra Modi has shown that leadership doesn't need to engage in tutu meme. He has preserved the integrity and the intensity of India's economic prowess. And I think we need to send out 3 signals, which he has already sent out in a manner of speaking. That you don't have to fight with a pig because the pig enjoys it and only you get dirty. Number 2, India is admired across the world today for 2 things: the intensity of its brain power and its functional democracy. We are the world's largest democracy. America is the world's oldest democracy. We are not a country which is used to hyperbole. We are not aggressors. And we need to be in America's book on a China +1 strategy. So geopolitically, we are the most relevant. How has Narendra Modi behaved since June last year? He could have easily got into a slanging match. Parliament baited him. Parliament tried to do everything they could, insults. And by the way, when you insult Narendra Modi, remember you also insult a little bit of India and Indianness. So people who believe, 1 minute, I'm not seeking your agreement and I didn't interrupt you, so you don't interrupt me. My point here very simply is that this is the arrival of India economic prowess. What has changed since 2014? I'll tell you what has changed. Number one, we were never seen as a serious manufacturer. We are seen today. If you look at 90% of America's iPhones are produced in India. You may detest Narendra Modi, but for God's sake, stop detesting India's capabilities and capacity. Number two, we are seen today as the brain power of the world. Number three, in the recent budget, and Mohandas Pai will correct me if I'm wrong, what the government has done by incentivizing cloud data companies, to my mind, is a great step forward. Look, we are a democracy. Don't compare yourselves to China. We cannot do what China does. We cannot wipe villages out. We cannot throw people out. We cannot sequester people out. Be proud of the India we are becoming.
Oh, yeah.
Proud of the India we are becoming.
Right.
But proud of the Indian who has arrived. Don't always decry everything.
Course,
Rahul Gandhi, I've never said he's anti-national. I will never say any
just
politician.
a little interjection.
But Rahul Gandhi's utterances.
So I'm proud of being in India,
from intellectual
but I'm also concerned, sir.
Can I interrupt any of you guys?
Shouldn't we be
Obviously,
concerned?
bad manners has always
anyone who's actually proud
shouldn't we be
of being an Indian
I've not
who loves
interrupted
his
you.
What's wrong with
they'll
being
question the
concerned?
government.
One
All
minute.
those
Listen,
who support
both you Johnnies,
nonsensical things
both you
that this
gentlemen
government is
behave
doing,
like
all
Bernard
the
Shaw.
jumlas this
Your
government is
prefaces
giving,
were longer than
those
your
people,
play.
I don't want to use the term anti-national for anybody, but those people are slightly dumb.
I will not.
Maybe
I
they
will
have
make
some
sure you
personal
don't.
interest to
The
support
point
Bharatiya
is,
Janata Party.
these are people who are saying today.
Okay.
These are people who are the people who are saying today that India has been compromised. Just one page. Let me describe. These are the people who, as per the 123 agreement of the India-US civilian nuclear deal, capitulated to America's nuclear terms, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee had to warn them, don't compromise the country. These are the people who called India a dead economy. These are the people who made an entry into China's Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, which was described by China as the world's largest free trade agreement, and which tied us in. And thank God for Narendra Modi. Thank God for a man called Narendra Modi who pulled us out of the RCEP. Otherwise, we would have been Mohandas Pai, a junior partner of China. These are the great people who signed the Panchsheel Agreement. These are the people who compromised in 1962, giving us lectures,
Yeah.
Lectures, giving us lectures. Giving us lectures, Come on now. You want me to expose you a little bit more? You want me to expose you a little bit more tonight, right? I'm getting into the mood. I'm getting into the mood.
Have the decency and the humanity to find some good even in this haystack.
Yeah, and they are saying...
You always hate everything. You guys have become communists. You have a problem for every solution. We found, I find goodness in the Samajwadi Party in spite of Azam Khan. In spite of his
asking,
I think Akhilesh is a good man.
And now you are saying, you're compromising the country.
You may hate Akhilesh Yadav.
You are a party which sent the police to look for your leader Azam Khan's 5 missing buffaloes. You said the most important thing in UP is to find Azam Khan's buffaloes. I want to go to Ajay Bagga. I want to go to Ajay Bagga. What is this going on? Ajay, what is this?
Yeah, what is going on, Ajay?
That's a very pertinent. What is going on, Ajay? Everyone.
No, it's quite sad. It's quite sad without any details to just attack somebody just for the heck of it. And to look at the broader national interest. Your interest is that Trump has weaponized trade. He has weaponized access to his market. You have to get the optimum deal. China, with all its heft, with all its craftiness, has got 34%. Remember, the Chinese are working since 2019 to de-risk themselves from Trump. Despite that, they have got 34%, despite holding rare earths as a blackmail tool for the rest of the world. Given all that, for our negotiators to land a deal like this, I think we have to laud it. We have to wait for the details. We don't have to jump. Today, the Commerce Minister has said the dairy and the agriculture sector will be protected. Do you believe your own Commerce Minister, or you depend on the cabal which surrounds Trump?
Wait a minute, I'm coming to you.
Jump on that. You just jump on that. I think, and you want the Prime Minister to come in Parliament and make anti-Trump statement so that the deal.
They want to provoke the Prime Minister.
Pro-India, sir. Pro-India. There's a difference between a pro-India statement, a pro-farmer statement, and an anti-Trump statement. Come on,
you
sir.
are playing the role of Indians today.
Bagaji, the simple thing is
Ajay,
the Prime Minister should assure the Parliament, very simple, and he should just come. Why do we want a statement inside the Parliament that the United States Agricultural Secretary has tweeted in very specific terms?
The US diplomats, the US... Before I go back to Mohandas Pai on that, I want Saurabh Shukla. Ajay, one minute. Ajay, don't get provoked, Ajay. Saurabh, what's happening in the US now? When is the fine print coming out, man? We can forget this controversy then.
Sir, just hear me out.
Yeah, he's the man in Washington.
Yeah, I can tell you the ground situation. Okay. Now, this deal is being touted as a win-win deal for both the sides, and it is a strategic deal which helps not only India immensely, obviously the US-India relations, also 5.5 million Indian Americans who are there, because what was happening, you should see the context of the last 8 months, that India-US relations was on a tailspin. The specifics of the deal...
And they were celebrating. No, they celebrated.
Yeah,
they were celebrating. From Awaishi to Rahul Gandhi to Arvind Kejriwal, all celebrated that.
Let me complete. Okay, the specifics of the deal as I talk.
Actually, Raghuram Rajan should resign. But the problem with Raghuram Rajan, he has no position to resign from.
Absolutely, they have no clue. They have no clue. They don't have a clue.
That's the agreement.
These were the statements being made when UPA was in power. That's how diplomatic statements are made. They are statements which come from the US side, which come from the Indian side. Whether the Samajwadi Party should, a friend from the Samajwadi Party should realize that they were the ones who supported the, Indo-US nuclear deal as well, which I also support, by the way. But I'm saying that there are diplomatic nuances. Don't mislead the people of the country.
Nobody is misleading. There are certain things,
that our Prime Minister
certain
and
facts
our
which are
government
there
has negotiated
right in front of
a deal
you,
which is
if you
a
decide
win-win
not
deal
to,
for the people of India, and also takes India's stock much higher in the global arena. Today, you know what is being talked about in Washington, D.C.? The fact that the Indian negotiators, India's Prime Minister, created and got a tough bargain out of the U.S. That's the story here.
Really?
You should be talking about the headline here.
Now you have to kindly give me time to rebut.
There is bipartisan support.
You have to
don't. Faizan, don't speak baloney. You're speaking baloney. It makes no sense.
Okay,
all baloney talk from you tonight.
Okay, correct. Now let me put certain points across.
Faizan, you're not moving an inch on logic.
Come on.
So I see a conspiracy. Mohandas Pai. One minute. Saurabh. Mohandas Pai. I see a little plan of the opposition here. They are a bit stunned, They don't know what to do. The deal is signed.
We are scared for our farmers.
It looks deal.
We are scared for our farmers.
Hell, you are scared about the farmers. You wanted Salman Khan. You got Salman Khan to dance on Mulayam Singh Yadav's 75th birthday. How much money from taxpayers did you pay him? Did you use taxpayer money to make Salman Khan dance at your leader's wedding? Salman Khan danced at your leader's wedding for free? Free में डांस किया?
BJP for that?
Did you ask the people then anything?
Routing money,
routing money.
bonds,
Okay, now Mohandas Pai on serious note. Mohandas Pai, you see, we are in a catch-22 right now. Let's be realistic.
Arnab, look, Arnab.
Yes.
There is a deal which has been signed off between both the countries, which is on President Trump's table. Our Commerce Minister has said agriculture is not something that we agreed on. We are not going to expose our farmers, our people in the dairy industry and others to the Americans coming and giving agricultural goods.
But they are saying 0% now.
Anyway.
The Americans are saying 0%.
Yeah, and we are not done anything much beyond that. And the Commerce Minister is going to make a statement in Parliament, and that is a deal that is on the table.
Then that settles everything, sir.
President Trump has reduced the tariff to 18%, and that's pretty good. And he has done it for a very important reason. After the EU deal, the US was being left out, and he was losing support from a country which supports him. He's brought it to 18%. And remember, 18% is lower than any other country in the emerging markets. Let us wait for Piyush Goyal to come to Parliament and make a statement. And Minister Goyal has said very clearly,
that's what we want, sir.
agriculture is an area where we are not opened up. Yes, we may import pulses, we may import almonds from California.
No, we see
plums from California.
We understand that, sir. The thing is that's what we expect from the Commerce Minister, to assure the Parliament that agriculture and the dairy
he said he's going to come. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. There's no need for any speculation without data. Tomorrow he opens them. He can come and
really simple.
Right now, let us trust our ministers.
With due respect to you, sir. Yes. It's our duty to be concerned about the nuances of this deal. It's our duty to be concerned about the interests of the farmers. So that's what we should
be concerned. You should be concerned when you get the details. There are no details now for it to be concerned.
Sir. So
there are no
we are
details from the Indian side.
We are not concerned about what Donald Trump has tweeted. We are concerned about what Brooke Rollins has tweeted, and that's why we are concerned. That's why the facts need to be out in the open before we further take this forward.
Minister
until there is an assurance to the Parliament either by the Commerce Minister or the Prime Minister, the conjectures are always going to be out in the open.
Sanju, let Sanju defend that on the spot. Yeah.
Arnab, I just want to take off from where Suhail Seth left. I think let's not forget one thing. The scene in the last 11 years has changed dramatically on the economic front. When Prime Minister Modi took charge at the helm in 2014, our absolute GDP was $1.8 trillion. Today we are at $4.34 trillion, which is a 141% increase. When PM Modi took charge in 2014, our annual exports were $300 billion. Today it is $856 billion, a 185% jump. When PM Modi took charge in 2014, you will be surprised to know, Arnab, that our annual FDI was only $10 billion. Today it is $82 billion. And more importantly, when PM Modi took charge in 2014, our annual inflation was 12.7%. Today it is 1.3%. And our current account deficit, which was 6.9%, has fallen to 0.8%, which gives us great leverage to bargain to the comparative advantage of India at the negotiating table. And that is precisely what Prime Minister Modi has done. I don't play cards. I know nothing about poker, but common sense tells me in poker it is all about who blinks first. But equally there is a saying that poker is a game where the weak and the meek do not inherit the earth. And Prime Minister Modi has shown he's neither weak nor weak. We negotiated the India-US deal on our own terms. Imagine China with a tariff
of 34%.
There's
only one single reply, Sanju,
Malaysia, Indonesia with a tariff of 19%. Imagine even Pakistan with a tariff of 19%. And lo and behold, there are a number of items where the reciprocal tariff is zero. And my final
has given great C to the data that is all the data you're quoting.
Talks about farmers. Can you
There's
tell me,
only
Mr.
single
Joshi,
sentence reply to whatever data you're mentioning here.
That the party is not
and that's the great C from IMF.
Rice, bajra at MSP
whatever data
in Punjab.
you are quoting
has
been labeled as C grade. It's a C grade data according to IMF, ma'am.
Farmers committed suicide in Punjab last year. What if you're not talking about those farmers
the historical position of India in the WTO and elsewhere has been that we are going to keep our agriculture sector protected. Assure us in the Parliament that
what is your definition? Okay. 1 minute. It's an easy argument to make. I would like Ajay to take that. No, he says you are compromising the agriculture sector, Ajay. Protect it. Now, what would protection mean in tariff terms, Ajay? What is our present tariff on agricultural products, like from the USA, say soya bean from USA? What is the tariff on that presently? And what would it go down to?
If you look at all the work of Professor Ashok Gulati, there is no question of any US agriculture product coming in and being viable for the mass consumption in India.
Why is
what do we get? We get Californian almonds, which only the 1% top-end people who have French per capita income, they consume. We will get some fruits which are not grown in India. You will not get wheat from the US. You don't have that much soybean. You don't have that much corn that you will take. You might take ethanol. So for blending, I think India as a compromise might say, for blending, it doesn't matter if the corn is GM. I will take ethanol from you.
Okay,
That's what they want us to do.
So what he's saying is,
they're not doing
no.
it.
So this game, because it's going to be a psychological game now. The opposition will say, Sanju, that bringing down tariffs on American agriculture will compromise Indian farmers. Ajay is saying it will not, because American agricultural products cannot be competitive in an Indian market. Only pistachios or the most expensive apricots do not amount to mass consumption. Don't mislead the people of the country to do your petty politics, Faizan and Piyush. I beg you, don't. Don't do that. I will expose you if you do.
Kindly give me time. Let me give me time. I just want to expose BJP.
I will expose you if you do.
Just a second. Please, just a second. See, this is a report from World Trade Organization, World Tariff Profile 2024, USTR 2025 report. It clearly says just.
I'll have to get Mohandas Pai.
US
Mohan and
Kindly expose us, Arnab. I invite you to expose us.
2% tariff, 30 to 50% agricultural tariff. Certain farm producers.
Concerted attempt now to build a political argument is on. Aap has tweeted 1 minute.
When the tariff becomes a zero, sir.
You don't have any data to question right now. You don't have any data to argue.
India is one of the worst countries.
You are building a hypothetical argument in the absence of facts. You are working against national interest. You must stop doing that.
Government policies.
Mohandas Pai, please step in, sir. Step in, Mohandas Pai, please.
Look at the track record of
That's what I have things on the data.
Mohandas Pai, louder, Mohandas Pai.
Reciprocal.
Arnab, these people are trying to create some unnecessary controversy. Minister Piyush Goyal has said agriculture is not on the table. We may open up pulses, we may open up almonds, but wheat, rice and milk are not on the table. He has said that very clearly. It is part of the deal that is there on Trump's table. Let these gentlemen wait for 1 or 2 days. And
wait for a day. Sohail said, Mohandas Pai says, wait for a day.
Right now,
wait.
Remain healthy for the next 48 hours till Piyush Goyal comes.
Right, I agree. Sohail.
We opened up, you come and criticize. Fine.
No,
why do you
this
speculate?
gentleman, first though, the gentleman from the Aam Aadmi Party, I